Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is the 25th of March, 2025, 11 a.m. Central European Time, 10 o'clock in the morning in the UK. 10 o'clock in the morning, a Monday morning. You have to wake up on a Monday morning and look at this. And I would like to say there is definite cause and effect between me having a haircut and the price of crypto going up. Clearly, I haven't had a haircut since the last pump. I had a haircut yesterday and now we're over $87,000. I think my haircut is solely responsible for this relief rally. So we're going to go through quite a lot of things today. We're going to go through and look at the IMF. We're going to look at China. We're going to look at Sonic. We're going to look at Trump. We are going to have a look at, I believe, off the top of my head, ETH. And I think that is pretty much it. We've got the charts as well to go through, look at the DXY, look at total money supply, all those kind of things. That is what we're going to do today. But before we begin, Hidden, Velvet, KB, Danny, you are true stalwarts of crypto, being up at this time on a Monday morning to listen to the show and get your fix of Mike. I don't know what else to say. Is this a relief rally? That's the title of the show today. Or are we going to go any higher? The Bitcoin chart is telling me that we're approaching a level that we need to break if this is going to continue. But remember, weekend rallies, they can just be dumped on in 3 or 4 hours. Everybody has recency bias. It's all over. We're so going to make it. All those kind of things. Let's have a look at that before we get on. It's not the 25th of March. It's the 24th of March. I'm wishing my days away. So if you're new here, remember, like and subscribe to the channel. If you're on Binance, hit follow, hit like, and then go over to YouTube, find Crypto Warehouse and give us a follow over there. We make videos every single day of the week, not at the weekend. Sometimes we have a Saturday off. 204,000 and a bit. I'm probably going to start reading that out at some point. As you can see, there is the list of things to talk about. What did I miss? I don't think I covered everything pretty much. That's what we're going to go through. But first, we're going to have a little look at the charts. Bitcoin then coming in at 87.2. That's not the surprise. The surprise is Ethereum being at $2,100. Okay, because according to the experts, we were going to $600 on Ethereum. And if this is a relief rally to get us back to $2,100, fantastic. But all the news coming out over the weekend was about BlackRock buying XRP. Don't know whether that's true or not. Buying Solana. Don't know whether that's true or not. But verifiable, they were buying Ethereum. So again, just because the Ethereum ETF hasn't ripped up the same number of trees as the Bitcoin ETF, it doesn't make it bad. Remember, look at the market cap of Bitcoin. Look at the market cap of Ethereum. Bitcoin is 7 times larger than Ethereum. So, of course, Bitcoin is going to perform 7 times better. It's just got 7 times the amount of money swirling around. So, you know, let's not look. I mean, look at the volumes. The volumes are exceptional for Ethereum over the weekend. Anyway, XRP is back to our safety net almost of $2.50. BNB, yeah. Solana back above $140. That is a lovely sight for sore eyes. Doge is in there, Cardano is in there, and Tron is in there. One thing I do want to point out to you, which I haven't noticed before, and it's come up and it surprised me a little bit, the difference between the 10th placed cryptocurrency and then everything beneath it, the 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. Now, I don't remember a time where this has been as separate as it has. It's like, you know, when you see in a football league table, you'll see the top 4 break away and there'll be 8 or 10 points clear of the team in 5th position. I don't remember a time where we've had, for example, Chainlink has to outperform Tron by 100% on top of whatever Tron does to catch Tron. Toncoin, remember Toncoin got to 9th. That is now at 9 billion. Cardano in 9th position is at 25 billion. Now, there's loads of reasons for this. Potentially people are holding their positions in the top 10 a lot longer than they're holding everything else. Potentially it's a flight to safety. Maybe people are selling off some of the coins and going into Cardano and XRP because of their association with Trump. Maybe Tron is in there because of all the up and coming news about the merger the connection with Solana. Maybe it's to do with the stablecoin, who knows? But that's the first time I've noticed that we have got a definitive break between 10th and everything else. You know, I mean, we've got a lot around 9 billion, but Chainlink, look at it this way, there's 11 coins on here with a market cap of 10 billion, but there isn't, because you take out USDC, you take out Tether, you probably take out BNB, that's as much of a stable coin as everything else. So you've only got 9 cryptocurrencies with a value of more than $10 billion. I'm not saying that means anything, by the way, but that's the first time, and I look at these charts probably every day, it's the first time it's jumped out at me like that. Now, gainers and losers then. SPX is up 24%, Render is up 16%, Sonic is at 60 cents. What is amazing about Sonic being at 60 cents? Well, if you're an OG in the OG Telegram group, you will know what that means, because I told you on Saturday what I had done. So I'm not going to tell everybody else. Avalanche is up, Athena, Trump is up. We're going to talk about that in a bit. Mantle, quite a few gainers. Losers, again, Pi, waste of time, absolute waste of time. Tron is down, Mantra, again, not many losers at the end of the day. Let's not worry too much about that. Now, we don't have a lot of X-Files because we have a lot of charts to go through. And that's what we do on a Monday. Because no matter how much you wake up with a positive mindset on a Monday morning, I am here to show you copious charts. Good morning, Solo Sky. Good morning, Tariq. Good morning, Bullish Bull. Thank you all for joining me. Anthony Pompliano claims people are drastically underestimating how manically the United States is about buying Bitcoin. Now, for those of you that might not recognize this man, he had a show very similar to BitBoy Ben, and he S-talked on that show, okay? And it was trash. They'd get people on, there was 3 of them on the show, and they'd laugh at their guests. And it was pathetic, schoolground behavior. He went away, had a haircut, put a suit on, and now he's on Fox. And now he is the commentator to top all commentators. But the streets remember, Anthony, you would get people on and you'd mock them live on your show. And again, just because you've got a suit on, clean shaven and a nice haircut doesn't make you a nice person, my friend. However, again, he's stating the obvious. I think I tweeted about the golden visas over the weekend. Trump sold, I think it was 1,000 golden visas in his first month in office. And that was $5 billion. And I very succinctly pointed out that if that was spent on buying Bitcoin today, it would get the American government about 52 or 58,000 Bitcoin. Because neutral, cost neutral, doesn't mean that they're not buying Bitcoin. It means they're finding ways that don't cost the taxpayer money. And I think if we go and have a little look to get the price, the correct number. I've got a new nice little thing up here now. Right, give me 1 second to find this, because it's quite an interesting little breakdown. Here we go. So basically, Trump wants budget-neutral ways to get Bitcoin, then proceeds to sell 5 billion in golden visas. 5 billion divided by 84,000 is 59,500 Bitcoin. The price will rise if this was announced, so I expect retrospective announcements. Again, one thing that I would certainly see from the American government is that they will not be announcing and telegraphing the purchase of Bitcoin. Why would they? It would make no sense. So what I think we're going to see is these retrospective purchases like we see with Saylor and MicroStrategy, where the American government will go and maybe buy 10,000 Bitcoin on a Monday and then maybe have an announcement on the Friday. That's what I see happening, because if they front run it, the UK government decided to telegraph the selling of various stocks that it bought during the 2008 crisis. I think one of them was Lloyd's TSB, was it? Something like that, or Royal Bank of Scotland, I can't remember which one it was now, or the merger. And they came out and they told everybody, weeks, months in advance. And it was a stupid thing to do. You don't tell anybody what you're going to sell or what you're going to buy. You do it retrospectively, you do it after the event, because We want bullish news coming out of the American government, but you've got to understand there is an argument to be had that BlackRock, the American government, Vanguard, ARK Invest, even Michael Saylor, they don't want a $250,000 Bitcoin, because a $250,000 Bitcoin costs 3 times the amount of money to buy. That's what they care about, is they want to get as much of the Bitcoin as quickly as possible. And then maybe in 2, 3, 4 years' time, maybe they want a $250,000 Bitcoin when they own it, because they know it's a finite supply. Maybe BlackRock wants 1 million Bitcoin. Maybe Michael Saylor wants 1 million Bitcoin. But they're not going to go out and pump the price. Michael Saylor is dollar cost averaging in. He's dollar cost averaging it in at $80,000, $75,000, $70,000, $65,000. He could probably go out and buy a lot more than he does, but he tries to take it slowly. You do not realise, you do realise that Saylor has spent the past 4 years buying as much Bitcoin as possible without bidding the price up. This is actually quite interesting because it's what I've just been saying. To get as much as he can, do you understand that strategy treasury cannot be reproduced amongst TradFi? No company can mimic what he's doing. He's already won. This is something else that a lot of people don't understand. Michael Saylor has got to a position where, irrespective now about first mover advantage or people playing catch up, he owns 500,000 Bitcoin. You can't just go out and do that now. BlackRock can, but they're not an individual business. They're doing it through an ETF. So he has technically won. Time will tell what he's going to do with it. Again, one thing to bear in mind is we do try and keep people up to date on different things on here. So Solo Sky, Tariq, everybody that holds Jupiter, everybody that's got it staked, they are changing the way that this voting is working, and they're doing a lot more votes. They've already had 3 in the last 4 weeks. Now you can go to the DAO and press notify me, put an email address in, and they will email you when the vote is up. Now, that might sound like 1998. That might sound like 2004, okay? But an email is probably the best way for them to get hold of you. So if I was you, I'd put your email address in here and get the notification every time that they have a vote. And like I said, they've had 3 already. They're probably going to have another 8 in the pipeline. It takes you 2 minutes to go and vote. And again, the ASR rewards at the minute, I think they work at about 20% APR. So it's worth going to do it. If you've got 100 dupe staked, you're going to get 20 dupe this year. It's not a bad return. Now then, what's coming up this week? I think the biggest bit of news this week is it the PCE this week? I believe there is a PCE. There we go. So on Friday, we have the PCE index. People are expecting it to go up, but we have a lot of other things coming out which aren't really super important. You've got jobless claims. You should also have home sales. These are important. The 3 things that are important to the man in power: houses, unemployment, and inflation. That's all he cares about. So Friday, really, I mean, there's a few other things, but Friday is the big day this week to keep an eye on. So maybe we have a good week, and then we lead into Friday, and then that comes out hot or comes in hot, and we see a little bit of a move to the downside. So Friday is the only day we need to care about this week. Friday is the most important day in crypto history ever. Chapter 17. Now then, this is what we like to see. I don't know why we're on the 8 hour. There we go. Okay, this is what we like to see. And that is the DXY, the value of the dollar. We looked at this last Monday, I think, which would be probably about there. And we came down and we bounced off this line. That oracle needs to work in normal colours. We bounced off this line. We're going to come back up. I think I said at the time what we are likely to see is, or hopefully what we want to see is something like this. Okay. This was a bit of a sudden drop, which is to do with the tariffs. I believe that Trump has said that April the 2nd, which was the deadline for tariffs, that's now going to go by the by, and he's going to have reciprocal tariffs. Now, what I find so ironic about reciprocal tariffs is that's one of the things he was planning to do all along. Canada had a 50%, 150% tariff on American steel. He reciprocated it. People didn't listen to that and just said he's going to have a tariff war with Canada, and then everything dropped, as you can see here. Now he's talking about reciprocal tariffs. Everybody seems fine with it, but it's still going to push inflation up. Whether it's reciprocal or not, it's going to push inflation up. However, let's see how it gets. Let's see how it goes. So that's back. That has bounced off 103.4. We're back at 104 again. Nothing really to worry about too much. Nothing really to worry about. We're back at those levels. A lot of these charts that we look at, by the way, they do not change dramatically from week to week. But what I am doing every week is I am making sure that you accustom yourself to charts. Because if you look at these charts, for example, this is Bitcoin dominance, by the way. If you look at these charts, they just look like lines everywhere on the screen. And I get that, okay? I understand. And again, if KB, for example, if he started talking to me about his charts, he'd lose me at some point along the way. So I'm fully aware of how sometimes these charts look like lots of little green and red lines. And that's that they do all these squiggly little things and they don't seem to make any rhyme or reason. The reason we go through them every week is we every week are showing you how that chart is moving. So over time, you understand a little bit more about why they work. Now, Bitcoin dominance. Again, this is like waiting for your birthday. What are we now? So we are 18 months down the line, and Bitcoin dominance is 61.5%. Every $100 in crypto, $61.50 of every $100 in crypto is in Bitcoin. So the total value of crypto, 61% of that is in Bitcoin. And it's not getting any smaller. We have done nothing but go up and up and up. And we had this beautiful moment here where we had a little smiley face and everybody was happy. Why were we happy? Because the alts were ripping. Bitcoin dominance was gone. We were going to get the alt season. Litecoin was going to go to $500. Dupe was going to $10. Everybody was ordering, well, not ordering Teslas anymore. Everybody was ordering Lambos. And then Bitcoin dominance said, I don't think so. And then carried on going up. Okay. There is no end, it seems, to this pump in Bitcoin dominance. But I have drawn a line in here. This line is the 11th of May. I can't remember why I've drawn that line. That's irrelevant. But maybe it's my prediction of when we're going to break down. Now, when we break down, Bitcoin dominance will start. So Bitcoin will start to underperform the rest of the market. That's what's key. Now, there is a growing concern, which I mentioned on Friday to the Oracle. There's a growing concern in my head that we might not get the alt season that we've had in previous cycles. And in my head, we have a scenario where Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, maybe Litecoin, maybe Cardano, and we have an ETF alt season. That's something that's sticking in the back of my mind. Why? Because the money that's flowing into Bitcoin, the money that's flowing into Ethereum, it's not going into Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's flowing into the ETFs. The ETFs last week, I think they bought 6,000 or 8,000 Bitcoin on their own. There's only 450, which is what, 3,000 a week being made. They bought twice that, 3 times that. They're getting all the Bitcoin, they're getting all the Ethereum, and soon they'll be getting all of the XRP and the Solana. So when people sell Bitcoin, for example, to go and buy the alts, those people aren't selling to buy alts. Those people are selling and it's going to their bank accounts because they bought it through BlackRock. So I don't think we're going to have this legendary blow-off top alt season. I think that's one scenario. The other scenario is that it plays along the same way as it did up here. That's what happened in the last alt season. When the alt season hit, Bitcoin dominance broke down, and then down here, the alts went up. Okay? Now, this looks entirely different to the previous cycle. It's just a slow and steady rise. And I think it's the ETFs. And I haven't got the answer, by the way. I just know that I think there is a fundamental difference this cycle because of the ETFs. And I've said this before on the channel. I think they've broken the price of Bitcoin because it's a new level of demand that we haven't had before. Now then, this is the total market cap of crypto. So it's the total value of everything. Why is everything set to the 8 hour? Let's go to the weekly on this one. Now, we've had a lovely bounce there off the 2024 high. Look at that bounce there. Now, again, I don't want to be overly bullish. I don't want to be overly bearish. I try and keep a clear mind on this. This could be a relief rally, okay? This could be a relief rally that does this, okay? We're not out of the woods yet, but things are going in our favor. The interest rates are going to get cut. Quantitative tightening, we talked about that last week, that's going to come to an end and the money printer is going to get turned on. That's a positive. The conflicts, all of those things we talk about every week, they're coming to an end. So I don't want to be overly bearish or overly bullish, but this is a good bounce. And we bounced at back here. This was what? This was the Bitcoin ETF going live. And that's when we had that massive sideways crab for what felt like the lifespan of an elf. It was like thousands of years we just went sideways, and you were listening to me say the same thing. We just need to break this. We just need to break this. And we never did. We were here from March to November. Okay. That was the longest, 8 months of my life. It just never ended. Okay. I never want to see that again. Okay. That was horrific, but we bounced and we've now got a nice bounce. And this is the weekly. So this is 3 weeks of a bounce on the total market cap. So the total market cap has been moving up. Bitcoin dominance has been moving up. So somehow more money is coming in and Bitcoin is slowly sneaking up, because we were talking about going to 72,000 last week and now we're at 87. This is the total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. And again, I've drawn a beautiful circle on that chart. Why? 8 hours. We're on the 8 hour again. Here we go. So this is the trend line, which is moving to the downside. And look what we are doing. We are coming up to tickle that right there. We are at what? 827 billion, and that is coming in at 856 billion. So we are, what's that? 3% away. A 3% move gets us to this. Now, what could happen? We can clearly do that. Or this seems to be coinciding with this top here. Maybe we do that and we bounce. But at some point, this boring sideways downward action is going to come to an end. Bitcoin does not go up for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. It goes up for a period of maybe a week or two and then spends a month or 2 months consolidating. That's what it does. If you take the last 14 years or 11 years, I can't remember the exact amount now. If you take those last 3 cycles of Bitcoin, which is, I don't know, what does it work out as? 100 and something months, 140 months of Bitcoin. We've only gone up for about, I think it's either 3 months or 6 months out of that time. We don't go up. Bitcoin shoots up, consolidates, shoots up, consolidates. And in a bear market, it dips, consolidates, dips, consolidates. That's what it does. Anyway, let's move on. Have a chat. I don't know what the other one wasn't working. Please tell us where you are heading to with Bitcoin. Good morning, Jan. What about the people that most of their main accounts on their alts? I think the thing with alts is we're still going to get an alt season. I just don't know how super massive, explosive it's going to be, because only time will tell. Until the cycle changes, we're still in the same cycle, the 4-year cycle. And, you know, the people that 2 weeks ago were telling me on their streams that we were going to go to 46,000 and 54,000 and 62,000. Those same people are now telling you that we're going to go to 150,000. And the sentiment in the market is either we keep going down, therefore it's the end, or we've had a little bit of a relief rally, we're going to go to the moon. And the problem is, when you listen to those people, it doesn't really help. Now, the niggle that I have in my mind is a niggle, and that niggle is that the money that's got us to these prices on Bitcoin and Ethereum is that it's in the ETFs. The other niggle, which I don't really agree with, is that there's so many alts now that we're not going to get an alt season. And I don't agree with that hypothesis either. In every cycle, you have winners and you have losers. Solana in the last cycle absolutely smashed the back doors off everything else in the last cycle. In this cycle, people are predicting Sui, people are predicting Sonic, people are predicting Ton. They're the three coins that people are predicting are going to have massive, massive blow-off tops. But you're going to have one of these coins, maybe Polygon, for example, maybe Avalanche, maybe Celestia, other layer 2s, layer 3s, maybe Say. Maybe those coins don't have a massive blow-off top. So, because people think that alt season means everything goes up 500%. And it doesn't. We've said this before. Litecoin is going to have a good run because it's going to be an ETF. But it doesn't mean that Litecoin is going to go to $2,000. I said $300, $250 would be an amazing price for Litecoin, but that's only where it got to 4 years ago. So did it really have an amazing run? Because there's now more Litecoin than there was back then. So even though it'll have maybe a larger market cap, the price of the coin won't go any higher. So the point of having a portfolio, the point of having 10, 8, 12 tokens in your portfolio is for every XRP you've held from 30 cents, you're going to have a Matic or a Pol token now. Now, what's XRP done? XRP has done an 8x from where we were. And Matic has so far done a what? It's not even a 1x, okay? Maybe it's up 50%. Now, if you'd put 50-50, 50% in XRP, 50% in Matic, you'd be up 400%. Not bad. 4x, 400% on your money in 2 years, a year and a half is not bad. It's not a bad return. Now, had you put all of your money into Matic because you believe in Sandy, you believe in the ag layer, you believe in what they're doing, you'd be up 50% or half an X. If you'd have been all in on XRP, you'd be up 8x, you'd be up 800%. But you don't know retrospectively, or you don't know in January 2023 which is going to have the good run. You're going to bet on the safest horses, the horses that have got the most mileage in them. So I'm not saying that there will be no alt season. It's a niggle at the back of my mind that it might not be as explosive as everybody thinks. And there are always going to be losers. There was losers in the last bull run. There's going to be losers in this bull run. They're not all going to rip and blow people's doors off. That's why I picked 8 coins to have a good bull run. I picked them 2 years ago. And that portfolio is now up 450%. And I picked Bitcoin. Yes, it's done incredibly well. I picked XRP. Yes, it's done incredibly well. Ethereum, I think I'm up, but I'm not up as much as I was. XRP's up massively. Cardano's up massively. But some of that portfolio hasn't performed as it should have done in my eyes. Anyway, we can have a conversation about that. We could probably do a stream about it, the portfolio. I think that might not be a bad idea. And then I can show you what's in it and then show you what I mean. You want to basically get your $10,000 to be worth $40,000 or $50,000. And you do that by spreading your risk against the coins you think are going to do the best. Again, one of the things I've said before, go and buy the World Liberty Financial portfolio. That's done. That's going to do really well. Or go and buy every token that's going to have an ETF. That will also do incredibly well. There's more than one way to get the 10,000 into 40,000. But anyway, IMF adds Bitcoin to reserves, tracks it as digital gold and capital asset. I'm not sure this headline is 100% accurate. The International Monetary Fund is reportedly making changes regarding Bitcoin, with sources claiming the organisation is adding Bitcoin to its reserves and classifying it as digital gold. Now, that's the bit I don't think is 100% true. And many of you, has anybody seen the picture of Donald Trump unveiling the Bitcoin plaque in the White House, in the Oval Office? You'll have seen it. He pulls a little lever and the curtains come apart and it says it's the Bitcoin white paper. It's fake. It's AI generated. It's actually the Constitution. And AI has simply written the Bitcoin white paper over the top. But you have all of these influencers spreading it around as if it's gospel. Look at what Trump's put up in the White House. Well, no, he hasn't. He's put the Constitution up. And I imagine the Constitution is something that should always have been up in the White House. So why it's an unveiling, who knows? So I'm not sure it's adding it to the Bitcoin reserve. I think it's just changed and added it to the list of commodities. The organisation is adding the IMF's new standards, including BPM 7 rules, now track Bitcoin as a global asset, similar to gold or land in cross-border transactions. Bitcoin is also being classified as a capital asset under these rules. There are claims that Bitcoin may be included. Again, it's all horse manure, okay? Bitcoin's advocate Max Kaiser suggested the IMF is making quite a shift towards crypto adoption despite its historically anti-Bitcoin stance. Remember, the IMF turned round and changed its rating on all countries that were buying Bitcoin. It gave loans to certain countries, El Salvador being one, and said, we will only give you this loan if you don't go and buy Bitcoin. El Salvador got the loan and then went and bought Bitcoin. Again, I've got a lot of time for the way he runs his country. But the point of the matter is that IMF are going to have to follow suit. You're talking about an asset which is the 8th or 7th biggest asset in the world. Gold is obviously number one, but it surpassed silver. It's now only behind a handful of funds and a handful of companies. So for the IMF to completely avoid it, I mean, you can't call something that's worth $1.3 trillion a scam. This is where I've got a problem with Gary Stevenson. He calls it a Ponzi scheme. Crypto probably is 95% trash. But to go after Bitcoin, for me, no, that shows a lack of understanding in Bitcoin. Go after Solana by all means. Go after some of the newer chains by all means. But don't go after Bitcoin. I mean, that's just going to make you look foolish. It's like the guy who said a computer will never have more than 64K of memory, you know, or we can't have the internet. Oh, so what was it? We can't have the internet because it will make all telephone companies go out of business. So this is the Bitcoin channel that, again, we came into in January, and we've been very, very, very jaggedy. And where are we now? We're at the point of rejection, maybe. Again, we've got a few things that we need to break. I don't know why we've not got the bull market support band on here. There we go. Now look at that. We are coming up to this point here, which is $88,500. Okay, now I'm not saying that $88,500 has any magical significance. Of course not. But we are getting to the bottom of the bull market support band. Look what happened the last few times we did this. We broke down and we couldn't get above it. We got below it and we've come back down. Now, what that would say to me is that the top of this range is at $94,000. So if I was a betting man, I would say we get rejected here or we get rejected here. They're the two levels of rejection that we can get. If we don't get rejected, and this is the new golden age of crypto because America went out and bought 50,000 Bitcoin over the weekend, then what I would want to see is that where we bounce off the bull market support band and then start moving into higher highs. Now, I have said to the OGs on many occasions in videos that I make specifically for the OGs. By the way, an OG is somebody who subscribes to us on YouTube. We have YouTube subscribers. I have said to them many times that I think we're going to have an April all-time high. I actually said a March all-time high, but that went to pot when Trump started going to war on tariffs with Canada and Mexico. So maybe it's moved forward. I said we're going to get an all-time high, and I'm just going to stick by that because we've got 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. You can see in the past how fast Bitcoin can move. If you go here, November 2024, we're at 66,000. What date was that? 5th of November to the 14th of November, 9 days, we moved up $27,000 in 9 days. Now, if we did $27,000 in 9 days from where we are now, we would be at that $112,000 target that's in the bottom right-hand corner. That's my Darren Brown moment, that bottom right-hand corner there. I'm not saying we're going to do that today or tomorrow. What I'm saying is that you all think potentially that this is really bearish and we're going to keep doing this forever. We're not going to keep doing this forever. At some point, the bears will get exhausted, the same way that the bulls get over-exhausted on the way up. The bears get exhausted on the way down. The sell pressure can crush you. So I think we're going to have a move up, but I don't know if we're going to have a move up and a rejection, or we're going to have a move up like that. We don't know. I don't know what Trump's going to say. We're in a very inflective moment where we can inflect to the upside, we can inflect to the downside. But again, 87.6 is a good price. 88.5 is what I would look at. That's the bottom of the bull market support band. Previously, we haven't found that as resistance. We've actually found the top, which again, previously it was 92. At the minute, it's 94. Maybe we go there. But I do think we're going to have some kind of relief rally. But we're not out of the woods yet. Just because we've had a green day or a green week, we're not out of the woods yet. We've got a long way to go. Got a long way to go. Right then, moving on very quickly. Ethereum whales snap up 236 million in ETH rally brewing. Ethereum whales have accumulated this amount in 3 days. Large investors bought more than 120,000 ETH during a recent price dip below 2,000. One whale used a DeFi strategy involving Aave and OKX to acquire 7,000 ETH. So, again, the whales are buying Ethereum. World Liberty Finance is buying Ethereum. BlackRock is building on Ethereum. Everything to do with Ethereum is going that way, except for the price, which is going that way. And if you were a whale, or you were BlackRock, as I said before, what would you be trying to do? You'd be trying to get your hands on as much ETH as possible. Why? Because they're going to be allowed to stake it very, very soon. So BlackRock's Ethereum ETF, all the other ETFs are going to be able to stake their ETH in probably the next few weeks. This purchase of Ethereum that we're seeing, and now we're at $2,100. Why is that happening? Because people are potentially front-running this price action. What you're doing is, you're taking an asset. You put $10,000 into Ethereum today. In 1 year's time, you will have the same number of ETH minus 0.5%. So you will have maybe $9,950 worth of ETH if the price doesn't change, because BlackRock takes a fee. Now, you then throw in 3% staking rewards, and suddenly your $10,000, if the price doesn't change, becomes $10,300 minus fees. So maybe $10,150 after fees. And suddenly, you've completely changed the entire context of that ETF. And then what comes next? Solana. Well, Solana has staking, so you get 4% on your Solana ETF. XRP doesn't have staking yet. Might be something that happens in the future, who knows? Litecoin doesn't have staking because it's proof of work, so that goes by the wayside. Bitcoin clearly doesn't have staking, that goes by the wayside. But Ethereum staking is going to happen. Solana staking is going to happen, and they're going to be two very, very desirable products, because 3% or 4% or 5% in Solana is a decent return, irrespective of the price. So I think this is a good move for Ethereum. I'm still not giving up on Ethereum, even though we've seen such negative price action. I just don't think it's as bad as it's been made out. We're not going to talk about the RSI, that's not important. I just think that Ethereum is due a good run. And the one really, really negative thing is, if you've seen the return, CoinGlass ETH return by quarter. Let me show you this. Just to show you how much of an anomaly this is it, but we need to go to Ethereum. So the Ethereum price in Q1 and Q2. So here we go. So look at the Ethereum side over here. If you look and you split the year in half, Q1 and Q2, which you can't quite see, right? I'll give you that because Bitcoin is on the screen here. So basically, you have more green quarters in Q1 and Q2 for Ethereum than you do in Q3 and Q4. Now, last year, 59% uptick. The year before, 52%. 2022, 10% down. Before that, 16, 3, 5, 46% down. Anyway, you can go back to 2017. We're 37% down in Q1. 37%. It's really, really poor. Okay. Now, we can go to this one, and I believe we can change this to Ethereum to show you. Okay. Now, look at January, February, and March for Ethereum. Nearly always green. We've had 3 red months. 3 on the trot. It's never happened in the history of Ethereum. In January, February, March, we have 3 red months. So either Ethereum is broken and it's going to go to zero, or it's trash, or whatever else you want to call it, or it's going to have a rebound. And if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would certainly look at Ethereum as having a good couple of months. And if it has a good couple of months, that could spark the alt season or a mini altcoin rally, because Bitcoin dominance is running away. We need Ethereum to lead the charge of the alts. That's all we need to do. Right then, what time is it? 11:42, sorry. China looking to expand range of digital yuan amid potential monopoly of US dollar peg stablecoins. Again, the way the world is moving at the minute in going into Web3, the stablecoin of choice is the US dollar stablecoin. And that can be Tether, Circle, it can be Ripple stablecoin, PayPal stablecoin. There's a lot of stablecoins doing the rounds, okay? And for those of you out there, I am still very salty that they forced BUSD to close, because personally, they did that because Binance wasn't a US-based entity. So that's why I think they got rid of it. It had nothing to do with CZ, had nothing to do with anything else. It was all to do with the fact that the stable coin itself wasn't an American company behind it. Because the second that they got rid of BUSD, what happened? PayPal, PYUSD came along. So if they were really going after stable coins, why did they let PayPal have it? They didn't. They did. But again, it's like they used one argument to close one stablecoin down and then didn't use the same argument against the new stablecoin. Again, we can talk about audits until we're blue in the face, but they still specifically went after a stablecoin that wasn't based in the US, and that they can't really go after. I still think BUSD would have a problem today. I think Trump would force Binance to move the stablecoin element to America because it's a US dollar stablecoin. So that's what I think. But anyway, so China is now looking to get into the stablecoin market. Again, China has its own digital yuan. It's had it since the Olympics that were in China. How many years ago was that? 4 years ago. All of the athletes had wallets on their phone. They all had digital yuan. They all used it. China is now looking to move into this. Once the US dollar stablecoin links the international credit of the US dollar more closely with the application scenario of the virtual world, it may greatly consolidate the hegemony of the US dollar. I think we've gone past the point of no return with this. I think we've crossed the Rubicon. I think the US dollar stablecoin market is just going to dominate the market. And I think by dominating the market, it's going to add another layer of stability to the US Treasury market. And I think it's too late. I mean, who is going to use digital yuan? The Chinese? Outside of the Chinese, who's going to use digital yuan? I don't see it happening. But that's my opinion. Another planned initiative is to ramp up the development of Chinese stablecoins, expand the use of digital tokens on the internet platform, and better combine the sovereign credit of RMB with the global application scenario of the Chinese platform. According to Zhang Ming, China and other countries should issue their own fiat-backed crypto to keep the US from dominating stablecoin and digital markets. That's all well and good, but you need the capitalization and liquidity behind it. One of the things that held Solana back for a very long time, let me just go on here for a second. I want to very quickly talk about stablecoins. The video and the audio should not be out of sync. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's a bit of a lag. I tell you what I will do. If I do this, if I do that, that should hopefully fix the problem. There we go. So basically the issue is that certain browsers of certain articles, they are really bad. The code is really bad, and it makes every computer that we've ever used lag. So you end up having this scenario where you can be looking at TradingView and it'd be fine, and then you go and look at AMB Crypto, and AMB Crypto will have 17 adverts running on it, and the memory usage of those 17 adverts just kills the browse. It's really not that easy to fix, and we've tried it on 6 different computers now, and I watch other people and they have the same problem. It's a browser problem, and browsers are just really badly designed. That's the problem. So very quickly about stablecoins. The one thing that held Solana back for all this time, up until quite recently that is, was the fact that there is not enough liquidity in stablecoins, and now there is, and Solana is flourishing. Cardano, there is not enough liquidity, stablecoin liquidity in Solana, and that is causing problems. It's really laggy, isn't it? Let me just close it down completely for a minute. Give me 1 second. Let me check. It is especially laggy. When I close the browser window down, it's a lot better, but it's certainly very laggy. Just give me a minute. Let's have a look at what's using up the memory, and then we'll get back into it. So if I kill that, that should have fixed the problem. There we go. That's better. So basically what happens is Microsoft Edge, Firefox, things like that, even after you've closed them, they stay in the memory and they take up 60% of your CPU and memory and stuff like that. So it's all fixed now. I'll give it another go. Right. So basically, if you've got a chain and you want people to trade on your chain, you need stablecoin liquidity. It's very simple. Ethereum has the most by a country mile. Cardano is being held back by lack of liquidity because people will have to trade against ADA and not against USDC or USDT. And that's a massive issue, which Cardano seems to have been trying to fix for the last 2 years. If you've got no stable coins, what happens is you don't want to trade. You'll use a centralized exchange. Because if I get a meme coin on ADA and I want to sell it, I want to sell it to stable coins, sit on some fiat, sit on some cash, and then buy into something else. Because there's no stable coin or not a lot of stable coins on Cardano, what you see is you see people selling to ADA and like for example on Solana 2 or 3 years ago, you sold everything to Sol, and now you're selling everything to stable coins, or in a lot of the cases you're selling it to stable coins. So it makes a massive difference to how your market works. And you see, like, we cover it on this channel all this time. I'll say, Say now has Tether. Like yesterday, $250 million worth of Circle USDC was minted on Solana. That $250 million is more liquidity in the market. So the more liquidity there is, you don't have liquidity problems. People can sell to stablecoins and not have to worry too much. And it's a really good sign. When you see $1 billion being minted on Tether, when you see half a billion being minted on Circle, for example, that's money coming into the market. That's adding liquidity to the market, and it's a really positive sign. And yesterday, $250 million was minted on Solana. I didn't mention it in Telegram because I don't know how, post too many things in there. But that's $250 million coming to Solana, which is going to be invested either in Sol or in other projects over there. So it's all really, really bullish. Now, the issue that I've got is I just don't see people using Digital Yuan. I think the dollar has won. I think we've crossed the Rubicon. I think we're already there. Nobody's going to use a digital pound or a digital euro or a digital yuan. Nobody. It's the dollar. The dollar has won. And it's going to regain, I think, it's going to regain its dominance through this stable coin. And what do stable coins need to hold their peg? They normally go and buy US dollar treasuries and gilts. And that just strengthens the American dollar even more. Now then, I don't want to say USTC. I don't want to mention Luna. But if you ever see this mentioned, run a mile. Okay, there are more than just Luna algorithmic stablecoins. I think Athena, USDE, is an algorithmic stablecoin. They're perfectly fine in a bull market. But when they depeg and they have to sell the assets, the underlying assets, to repeg, if those underlying assets aren't there to repeg, it will never get back to $1. So this time it's different. You'll hear them saying, I know Charles was talking about an algorithmic stablecoin on Cardano. It's a problem. And I wouldn't go anywhere near them. Let me bring this up so you can actually see what I'm talking about. There we go. Sonic prepares to launch an algorithmic stablecoin. Now, again, I told the OGs what I was doing with Sonic on Saturday. You can probably guess. But Sonic is making all of the right noises. Now, there is, swimming against the tide, betting against the Fed. You've heard all of these things before. Sometimes you have to go with the flow. And a lot of the time, that flow is unfounded. Ton, I said, was flying too high and it was going to come crashing down, and it did. Sui, I said, was certainly not going to go to the $20 that everybody was telling you it was going to go to, and that was going to have a correction. They've both had corrections. It doesn't make them bad projects. It means that they got to a point where they were probably overvalued. Sonic is not there yet. It's only at $1.7 billion. And you've got probably one of the most sensible voices in crypto leading the charge. Now, long distance race, you've got a chap at the back who has been sitting in 5th place for 16 laps, and you're coming round the bend to get to a podium finish, and you see him coming round the corner, and you just know he's going to get a podium finish. That's the feeling that I get with Sonic. It's a pre-existing chain that's changed its name. It has DeFi out of the wazoo. It has points farming, which is a negative, and I agree it's a negative. Once that points farming is finished, there could be a massive sell-off of Sonic. But between now and then of the bull run, I think it's going to do great guns, okay? Maybe it only goes to $5 or $6 billion market cap. That's a 4x from where we are now, okay? So maybe it goes to $2. Who knows? But the Sonic blockchain is moving forward with plans to introduce an algorithmic stablecoin that generates yield, despite lingering concerns about risks reminiscent of Terra Luna. Unlike the fully fiat-backed stablecoins, which maintain value through reserves, these, again, the problem with Luna was it was backed by, what was it called? The token, the Luna token. Luna, yeah. So the USTC was backed by Luna, and then Luna went into a death spiral, and it all came crashing down. Now, Sonic have launched one. And again, please, please, if you're going to touch these things, please do it with. Imagine that what you're going to put in is going to go to zero and you're going to lose it all. Okay? If this crashes, it's going to take Sonic with it. If this breaks, Sonic is finished. This is how serious this is. Because look at Luna. Luna, 30 billion or whatever it was, just got completely wiped out of crypto. And it absolutely killed us for about 6 months. I don't believe any stablecoin should offer 23%. I don't think any stablecoin should offer more than about 12% because it's unsustainable. What you're doing? You're printing money? Anyway, he shared an update on social media noting the initial testing show yields exceeding 200% APR at $10 million in total value locked, stabilizing at 23.5% at 100 million, and settling at 4.9% once it reaches $1 billion. Now we are talking. That makes sense. Okay, 4.9%. That's good. His cautious optimism stems from his past experience with stablecoins, admitting that the failures of previous cycles left him skeptical. The collapse of Terra's UST offered over 20% on Anchor, lost its peg to the dollar. Luna then went into the death spiral, killed everything off. Sonic claims it's the fastest EVM, 720 milliseconds, yada, yada, yada. The regulatory landscape is shifting. We know about this, but I'm not sure that it's going to get regulatory approval if it's a stablecoin that's backed by other assets. I just don't see it happening. Certainly if it's not backed by S, its own token. I always laugh when you have a company that's valued at X, but 70% of that value is in its own token. You know, FTX had the same. FTX had the same thing. FTX had, I don't know how many billion of its own token, and guess what? It just was worthless because once that price goes down, everything goes down. Can I look at the Maple chart? Do you mean this? Do you mean syrup? I will do. I'll try and do it on the end. Running out of time. Anyway, how many articles we got left? 2 bits left. Right, Solana co-founder trashes L2s, saying L1s are faster and more secure. There's no need to build L2s, according to Solana's co-founder Anatoly Yavalenko. They aren't slowed down by a glacially moving L1 data availability stack or have to compromise security with complex fraud proofs and upgrading multi-sigs, he said. Again, it depends on the project. I think Solana probably doesn't need layer 2s. I'd agree with that. I think Ethereum needs layer 2s. I think Cardano is working on its own version of a layer 2, which isn't technically a layer 2. So it depends if it fixes a problem, because a lot of layer 2s, what do? They gather up a lot of transactions and then they submit it to the layer 1 as a bundled up transaction. So that's what they do, and it helps speed up. You have this triumvirate, this three-pronged attack, which is decentralization, security, and speed. Decentralization, security, and speed. I think they're the three. And one of them has to suffer. So, is Bitcoin secure? Yes. Is it decentralized? Yes. Is it quick? Absolutely not. So you would build layer 2s on top of Bitcoin. Ethereum, is it decentralized? Yes. Is it secure? Yes. Is it fast? No. So you'd build layer 2s on it. Solana, is it decentralized? Not as much as it wants to be. No. Is it quick? Yes. Is it secure? Yes. So Solana has given up decentralization. Bitcoin and Ethereum have given up speed. If you're going to do one of them, you would give up speed, in my opinion, because it has to be secure and it has to be decentralized. So they are the two absolute ticks. And that the three, whatever it's called, problem, that's been around for 50 years. As long as we've had mainframes and computers, we've had that. I'm sure a lot of you that are older, or a lot of you that are maybe my age, will remember when you worked in an office and you tried to log in the morning. It might take you 30 seconds to log in because you had to connect to a computer that was several hundred miles away, and you had to authenticate, and everybody was trying to log in at the same time. That is a speed concession for security and decentralization. So I don't think Solana needs layer 2s. I don't think we need to talk about that too much either. And then finally, this is, again, lots and lots of people out there are going to tell you that all of these coins are going to go to zero. I'm here to tell you that if one of these is going to keep pumping, it is this one. Because he is the president of America. I'm not saying that you should go out and buy it. Absolutely not. It's a meme coin with no roadmap, no value at all. But if one of these Melania, Trump, Libra, whatever they are, coins is going to pump, it's going to be this one. And yesterday, Donald put a tweet out. Has it got the tweet in here? Hasn't got the tweet. What a great article. There it is. I love Trump. So cool. The greatest of them all. He literally tweeted that yesterday. And the price, which it doesn't show. Oh, there you go. The price pumped up to $12. $12.30 it got to. What I would say about this is, I've said it before, I think it'll go back to $30 at some point in the bull run, certainly. I'm not saying you go and buy it. I wouldn't go near this. I don't hold any. I won't be holding any of this coin. But it's got more chance of an absolute rip to the upside than any of these other meme coins out there, because he just has to do that tweet. Now, that tweet got to $12.30, and we're not really in a bull run. We're having a kind of chop. So if he can do that in a bull run, and he does that, or World Liberty Financial, for example, let's say they go out and add Trump to their portfolio. This is going to be at $25 before you can say anything, okay? So I am not saying Trump. I am never going to buy Trump. I want nothing to do with it. But if you want to go and get yourself $10, or you want to buy one Trump, it's going to keep doing that. And maybe it goes to $8 and stays there for a couple of months. And then maybe he tweets again about it. And maybe it goes back up to $14 or $15. Or maybe in the bull run, like I've just said, maybe in the bull run, it goes up to... Which one was I using? Why hasn't it got all the charts on here? Oh, here we go. Let's go and have a look at this one. I actually do not know which chart I have mapped this on. We'll go with KuCoin. Now, there are certain things I can and I cannot say about this token because I do not want to get myself in trouble. And when I say in trouble, I don't mean big trouble. I mean, this token is listed on every exchange except for one. And can you guess what exchange it is not listed on? Correct. Binance. So look at the Maple chart. I don't trust meme coins. Every time I put money in one, it seems something like Nacho. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to go near them. Don't touch them. Honestly, they are a scourge. If you're going to go near a meme coin, you go and look at meme coins that were from 2023 or 2024. Okay? They've got communities. Bonk, for example, has got deals with Revolut. It's got deals with, it's got its own apps that it runs. It makes revenue. It's not really a meme coin. It's more of a community coin. And you want to go and look at Mew. That's the same kind of thing. They go to conferences. They go out and they meet people. It's not really a meme coin because they do have roadmaps and they do have value and they do generate income. So, and the problem is they all get tarred with the same brush. But you're right. If somebody comes out tomorrow and launches a Kanye West meme coin, it's going to go to $3 billion. And then 3 days later, it's going to be sitting at $90 to $150 million and you've lost all your money. Very simple. Right then. Now, this is, of course, the coin that we are backing. I think I've mentioned this a few times on the channel. We have partnerships with projects that we think are going to do exceptionally well. And we are partnered with WolfSwap, which is a multi-chain aggregator. So it gets you the best price from across different chains, and it gives that price to you. We're also partnered with Maple Finance, which is the little maple pancake logo on the screen there. And this is their this is their token. Now, to put this into context, they are valued at $150 million. That's their market cap. Ondo, which has a slightly bigger TVL, is valued at 2 billion. So Syrup is either massively undervalued, or Ondo is massively overvalued, or the actual real price is somewhere in the middle. Now, I've said I think this should be right now about 50 to 60 cents based on a market cap of about 500 million. That's where I think it should be. If I look at Ondo, I think Ondo is still undervalued at 83 cents. It should be easily over $1 because of the connections it's got and what it's about to do. But this is putting in a very nice bottom. And this, if we go back to the beginning of February, this is where we started to partner with them, about here. Okay, about there. That's where we started to partner with them. And the reason is, why did we partner with them? Because you're going to need somewhere to put your stable coins after the bull run. And they have a stable coin which earns you 10, 12%, wherever it might be. They've also got other products where you can stake other coins as well. I'm going to make a video because institutional investors use Maple. They're not really, they don't really allow every Tom, Dick and Harry to use their platform. Bitwise, for example, just invested some of their money in their platform. So for me, where do I see this going? First of all, you need to take out that price there. That's the price you need to take out. And that's coming in at 24 cents. Now, I personally have bought Syrup, okay? We are on a path to getting their project to 2 billion TVL. They're currently at 700 million TVL. So we're going to try and 3x the TVL by the end of the year. And listen, I can't tell you too much, but it's listed on every exchange except Binance. It's not listed on Binance, which is the biggest pool of liquidity, and I can't say more than that. Okay, but I do think it's going to have a chance to move up. I'm not saying, let's get rid of that now. I'm not saying that you should ape in. I'm not saying you should go and buy it. Have I closed everything down? Let me just very quickly check. Everything is closed down. Edge is still running in the background, so we will kill that. There we go. Right then, so we are pretty much done. It is, what time is it? I don't know what time it is. 12:07. We are pretty much done for the day. I am going to do, yeah, I'm not going to get out of Maple Finance. I think for the bull run, I'd say $1 billion market cap is the minimum it's going to get to, which is a 7x from where we are now. And that would take us to 85 cents, 95 cents. I think it's going to go near $1. And if it breaks $1, it's going to go a lot higher. But my issue is, I think real world asset tokens are going to break off from crypto and from Web3. Because why should the value of Ondo be connected to the value of Bitcoin? Or if there is a new synthetic exchange offered by BlackRock where they offer synthetic stocks and shares, why should that have any value compared to Bitcoin? It shouldn't. So I think at some point we're going to see fragmentation in the market. Maybe not now, maybe not this year, maybe next year or the year after. We'll see fragmentation. And what I mean is that AI tokens are here and real world asset tokens are there, and the other types of crypto assets are in the middle, ticking away as they do, going along the cycle. But at some point, we're going to see a detachment of the different niches into separate asset classes or sub-asset classes. And we're not going to talk about alpha and beta on here, but basically, I think they're going to stop moving in conjunction with Bitcoin, I think, at some point in the future. And real-world assets will be one of them. If you've got, for example, if you've got a project that's got 20 office blocks in New York City that are valued at $1 billion, and you issue tokens on the blockchain for that type of asset, The office block value, does not change from 1 month to the next. It will appreciate maybe 4 or 5% every year over time. And that token maybe takes the yield from those office blocks in New York City. What has that got to do with the price of Bitcoin? Zero. So I think we're going to see a detachment of real world assets, AI assets, and crypto assets. And I think they're basically going to splinter into 3 or 4 or 5, however it goes. And you're going to get sub projects. But we're still in expansion. We're still not got the industry to where we want to go. We're only at 2.5 trillion. We're not talking about a 50 trillion asset class here. So it's going to take time to do that. But it also means you can pick up some actual bargains. You know, if you've got Ondo at 80 odd cents, if you've got Syrup at 12 or 13 cents, if you've got Mantra dips back down to $5, these have all got massive potential. Maybe they don't all deliver on that potential. So you have to buy all 5 because maybe one of them becomes the unicorn and the other 4 die or merge, whatever it might be. But anyway, that's for a different stream. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Eugene. Thank you, Stephanie, KB, Bullish Bull, everybody that's in the chat. Tariq, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I am back. However, before one last thing, actually, I have just remembered very quickly before I go, I need to remind you of an up-and-coming stream, which we have this afternoon. And that is, when the browser loads, this. Right, so I go to live now, and I go here to remind you. Where is the stream? There we go. Okay, I can switch you now. Here's one I prepared earlier. Give me 1 second. If you are around in 5 hours' time, the Oracle is streaming. Let me just see here. So the Oracle is streaming at 5 p.m. Central European time, which is in 4 hours' time. So he will be streaming. Well, I don't think it is 4. I think it's 5 hours' time. So the Oracle is going to stream this afternoon at 5 p.m. Make sure to come and join and say hello to him. Like, if Eugene wants a price on a token, send it in chat and I'll send it to him and you can watch it and catch up. Stephanie or anybody else wants a price on a chart doing on any of your coins, the Oracle does that. I'm not TA. I am not Mr. TA. He is Mr. TA. So go and check him out. He's in a few hours. But anyway, thank you, KB. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, everybody. I will see you all in the morning. Take care. Oh, take care.